You know, there are some things that just go together perfectly. They go together like lamb and tuna fish. You prefer a spaghetti meatball? You feel comfortable with that analogy? Um, but Sweet Baby Inc. and Wolverine is not one of those things that have to go together. So, is Sweet Baby Inc. involved with Insomniac's Wolverine game? Probably. Is it going to be a good game? Well, if Sweet Baby Inc.'s involved, no. For years, questions have lingered over the influence of Montreal-based consultancy Sweet Baby Inc. on major AAA games like the upcoming Marvel's Wolverine from Insomniac Studios. The consultancy firm, which bills itself as a narrative and inclusivity consultant, was one publicly tied to the Wolverine game, a title that was, at one time, a highly anticipated Insomniac game project for PlayStation 5. But were they still aboard all through production? Probably. So, what you can probably see is going to happen. Logan is going to be constantly emasculated by women, strong, powerful women who need to put him in his place. It's going to be a game, despite the fact that it's a Wolverine game, it's going to be centered around strong, powerful females. Whatever male characters, they're going to be either, toxic masculinity kinds, or they're going to be like girl power. Um, if there's black men in there, well, black men, it's different because Sweet Baby Inc. includes the whole, diversity thing. But if it's a man, I don't see them passing up. Well, no, they might. They might have the black male going after Logan as well because he's a toxic white male. But that's what Sweet Baby Inc. does. They don't care about the game as long as it pushes their fucking political agenda. They don't give a shit. I've said before, they have created the perfect business strategy. Partner up with studios, get paid millions of dollars to help out and consult. Something happens to the studios and they go out of business because they can't afford to stay open. Well, Sweet Baby doesn't matter because they've already been paid. And this has happened several times with studios that have worked with Sweet Baby Inc. Either they had to lay people off because their games didn't work out, they've had to close entire studios. But it doesn't matter because Sweet Baby Inc.'s already been paid. So they have the perfect business model. Go in, fuck games up with your fucking DEI bullshit, get paid. And if something happens to that company, oh well, we'll just move on to the next one. As the game's first trailer is set to drop any day now, one question haunts the gaming world: is Sweet Baby Inc. still involved with Marvel's Wolverine? Are Kim Belair, Kim Belair's fingerprints on Wolverine's claws? Yes. Confirmed starting point. Back in September 2021, Sweet Baby Inc. themselves announced on X that they were part of a team bringing Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine to life with the amazing folks at Insomniac Games. Yay. That post left little doubt that SBI was, at least initially, embedded within Insomniac during the early development of both superhero titles. So we got the post with Master TDS saying, "Don't be fooled." This was... When was this now? This was the other day. Before the year ends. Okay. So nothing major. Just saying before the year ends. Of course, yeah, don't care. Of course, we know that SBI was involved heavily with Spider-Man 2, so much so that it's one of the few games still featured on the pared down version of the company's website. But what about Sweet Baby Inc. and Wolverine? Industry coverage, including outlets like The Shortcut, have since listed Marvel's Wolverine among SBI's projects. This provides at least one outside confirmation beyond SBI's own social media. Yay. However, this information could be out of date. Maybe, maybe not. Defenses from inside Insomniac. In March 2024, PC Gamer reported that Insomniac and an Insomniac narrative designer working on Wolverine went out of their way to defend Sweet Baby Inc. and their role. Nothing that they've worked with them before. The developer explained that SBI provided research, ideas, and consultation. Yeah. But emphasized that nothing makes it into the final game without approval from Insomniac's core team. But given that Sweet Baby Inc. has basically said that they get what they want into games by making everyone afraid, I think those were from that was from the mouth of Kim Belair herself. You know, she'll go to these meetings with these people and she will scare them and like, oh, you know, like, well, we won't, you know, we'll expose this and, you know, we'll say, you know, we'll come out and say you don't do this or, you know, whatever they can to scare them. Usually oh, well, you don't want to be a phobe or ist or ism, do you? Basically scaring them into getting whatever they want. Actually, hang on. Let me pull up the quote. It's hard to remember exactly what she said. All right, here's the clip.
Put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, like, I say that out as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and who have to deal with mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around their game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them with both ethically and financially. You can say this is important. And it's also a valid discussion to have, because if you're working with a very thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you.
Holy shit. That honestly speaks for itself.
So there you go. She says herself, terrify them to get what you want. So no matter who they're working with, you know, these teams are so terrified of being exposed as phobes, ists, and isms that they give in to Sweet Baby Inc. and let them basically have full creative control. So they can say, oh, well, it needs to get past Insomniac's core team. Well, if Sweet Baby Inc.'s coming in and terrifying those people, like, well, you better put this stuff in. I hate to think of the consequences that might happen if you don't. You know, even if they're normal people, you know, like left-leaning people and normal, they're still going to be terrified of like, oh no, I don't want to be seen as a racist. Oh my God, what if I get fired? They're not going to do it. Sweet Baby Inc. basically has these people under their thumb. They can do whatever they want. And again, if something happens to the company, oh well, they've already gotten paid. The statement confirms at least past collaborations between Insomniac and SBI, with someone actively working on Wolverine. What it does not clarify is whether Sweet Baby Inc. was still active on Wolverine throughout the development process. In fact, the need to publicly defend the company may suggest the opposite. That Insomniac is acutely aware of the backlash associated with SBI's name and is reluctant to be transparent about their current role. I've said before, why people continue to work with Sweet Baby Inc. is beyond me. Everything they touch turns to shit. Like a great man once said, everything woke turns to shit. I actually have to also get out the meme that I made of that exact thing. Well, not that exact thing, but close enough. This. You know, my germs. Yeah, Sweet Baby Inc. Modern video games. It's exactly what it is. They're dipping their nasty little deformed, dirty fucking hands into games that have potential and just fucking ruining it for everyone because they can't fucking help themselves. They see an easy way to push their ideological bullshit, and they see people who are too fucking weak and spineless to stand up to them because they're afraid of being called phobes and isms. But you would think now we're in a different age. This isn't the last 4 years where people were like, oh no, we have a new person in charge. Companies are caring less and less about this bullshit, and yet Sweet Baby Inc. thinks they can just continue with the same fear factor of it. Oh, you don't want to be a racist, do you? But this is what they do. They take their nasty little grubby fucking fingers, stick them into all these modern games, and they turn out as shit. Every fucking time. Every time. Why the confusion? The controversy exists partially because Sweet Baby Inc. has gone quiet. Good for them. They should stay quiet because I think everyone's tired of them. Oh, their official website has been pared down to a single landing page, listing only past projects with no mention of ongoing work. Hang on. Let me pull that up. All right, so here's the page. We got contacts. But yeah, there's nothing, no other options. You can switch to French if you want. Since they're in Montreal, Canada. And, you know, a lot of French around there. Sweet Baby Inc. is an award-winning team of writers and narrative designers who help make stories better. Why you always lying? Quit fucking lying. With over 30 games shipped from AAA, indie, and solo developers, we are not just contractors. We are storytellers who can take your project to the next... Yeah, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. So it just shows some of the games that they've worked on. People didn't like it. People didn't like it. People didn't like it. People didn't like it. You know, to never heard of it. But pretty much all the games they've worked on have failed. Then we got, you know, design, just contact information, you know, legal stuff, and so yeah, it seems to just be one page now. Before they had a about us and, you know, a complete separate page to show all the companies that they're paired with and games. So the fact that they've gone down to one page, kind of odd. Single page, also going past projects with no mention of ongoing work. The change has fueled speculation that SBI may be hiding current contracts to avoid fan backlash. Well, since companies can't really shut their mouths, or Sweet Baby Inc. can't keep their mouths shut, like, oh my god, we're so happy to be partnering. I mean, okay, it's not listed on the site anymore, but someone's going to open their fucking mouth and say, oh, we're so happy to be partnering with this company to be working on this. The change alone raised eyebrows, especially since their 2021 social media post confirmed involvement with Marvel's Wolverine. The lack of clarity from Sony or Insomniac about the company's present role leaves fans and analysts guessing. In April 2025, Gothic Therapy reported, citing a verified insider, that Sony had canceled multiple projects, specifically because of Sweet Baby Inc.'s involvement. According to the claim, they weren't random scrap titles, but deliberate efforts to distance PlayStation from SBI. If true, these reports would mean Wolverine could fall in one or two possibilities. Either SBI was cut from the project as part of Sony's broader strategy, or they remain quietly involved but under tighter scrutiny. Again, if these companies care about, you know, the whole idea of, oh, well, we need to do this because if not, people are going to look at us as racist, and this is, no one's going to care. Real gamers are not going to give a shit. Make the games you want to make. Do not listen to these fucking losers right here who are going to come in and reduce your male character to fucking emasculated cucks and turning all your women into fucking ugly, strong female girl bosses. Don't do that. Make the game you want. If they don't like them, kick them out. You're hiring them on, not the other way around. You have the power to get rid of them. If they come in and start making a hassle and making it harder for you to get that game that you want to go through, You fire them. Not that fucking hard. Despite what they think, they don't have the power anymore. For the last 4 years, because of the freaking political climate, these people had more power than they needed or deserved. It's not that way anymore. Okay? So if you make the games which you want, with characters that, they might seem offensive, good. Do it. And if they don't like it, fire them. Stop caring about what the fucking minority think. These are a fucking loud minority of people who are so boring, no real personality, that race, gender, and how one identifies are their sole personality. It is everything they are. But you don't have to cater to those people anymore. That's the great part. You don't have to. Rumor versus reality. Neither Sony, Insomniac, nor SBI has directly addressed the matter in recent years. Until the studio reveal credits or issue a statement, all fans have to go on is a trail of past confirmations, recent silence, and persistent insider reports. And that's why the biggest question remained unanswered. Is Sweet Baby Inc. still shaping the story of Marvel's Wolverine, or have they been quietly shown the door? Well, one could hope, but I have a feeling that these companies still have no fucking balls. Despite all the men working there, not an ounce of testosterone among them. They're just gonna let Sweet Baby Inc. come on in and just do whatever the fuck they want. Not say a word. Let them do what they know is going to ruin the game, but not say a word about it because they're little fucking pansies who are too afraid to speak up. And then the game comes out, no one plays it, and they're like, oh, gee, I wonder how this happened. Grow a fucking pair. Then next time, maybe it won't happen. Leadership changes at Wolverine. It's also worth noting that Marvel's Wolverine has seen its share of internal leadership shifts unrelated to SBI. Steven Totilo's game file confirmed in late 2024 that Insomniac had changed creative leads, bringing Marcus Smith and Mike Daly to the forefront. Where things stand. Let's see. Confirmed. Sweet Baby Inc. announced in 2021 that they were working on Marvel's Wolverine, and at least one mainstream outlet still lists the project among SBI's credits. Defended. Insomniac's narrative staff publicly vouched for Sweet Baby Inc.'s. Sweet Baby Inc. in 2024, acknowledging they worked with them while stressing that the final creative decisions rest on with the core development team, which it doesn't, because again, she says terrify them to get what they want. Unverified claims that Sony or Insomniac have cut ties with SBI remain rumor. No official statement has confirmed their removal. Speculative. The removal of upcoming titles from Sweet Baby Inc.'s website leaves room for interpretation, but does not prove one way or the other whether they remain attached. Final thoughts. Right now, the evidence supports that Sweet Baby Inc. has been involved with Marvel's Wolverine, at least at some stage of development, which means traces of their fingerprints remain on the title in some way, shape, or form. What's unclear and unconfirmed is any official statement by any official statement is whether the relationship continues to the final stages of production. And given SBI's notoriety and the backlash that often follows their name, Insomniac and Sony may be playing things quietly until the game ships or credits roll. The question of Sweet Baby, Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Wokeism equals automatic boycott and backlash. Insomniac probably doesn't see that SBI hurt them at all much with Spider-Man 2 and SBI. Sure, it didn't sell as well at first. For Goro Ill, Wolverine is about the most popular hero in Marvel's universe among fans. So this game will sell like gangbusters, and no one will. I mean, just because it sells, you can still return, especially online. You can get a refund. I know Steam offers a refund after, like, you gotta play, I think, for at least 2 hours or something. Then you can return, get a refund. I don't know what it is for physical copies, but yeah, you download it online, play it. So just because they buy it doesn't mean they're like, oh, well, this game really sucks. I'll just keep it. No, they're going to return it. So, oh boy, Wolverine, he's so awesome. And then they play the game and it's just Wolverine. It was like a lot of these other IPs, Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, and he's getting emasculated by women. Indiana Jones, same thing. I mean, the title is Indiana Jones, that newer one, and he's getting emasculated by a woman, strong girl boss. Star Wars, anything Star Wars at this point. Doctor Who, you name it. It's just become a clusterfuck of strong, powerful women emasculating men. Forced diversity just so they can emasculate and humiliate white people. That's all it is. So, oh boy, can't wait to see a game where Logan is just constantly put down and made to feel bad because he's a toxic male. When it's his toxic masculinity that has saved people on numerous occasions. Because unlike the fucking limp-wristed pansies around the world, he's not afraid to jump into the action and do something about it. But Sweet Baby Inc. sees that as like a terrible thing. It's like, oh my god, toxic masculinity. And he should be black. But anyway, Sweet Baby Inc. Why they're still around, I don't know. Anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.